Yesterday I got a call from the hospital that my wife, Andrea, 29F, met with an accident. In my 35-minute drive to the hospital, I just prayed Lord my wife be safe. I rushed to the ER to find her getting treated. I felt relieved to know she was out of danger and that it was not a life-threatening accident. The nurse handed me her phone and other belongings. I asked her if they knew how the accident happened. She said the complete details are not there yet, but they have informed the cops and they are investigating the car. The cops arrived and gave me a copy of their initial investigation. I was shocked to find that she was intoxicated, rammed into a parked car, and later derailed onto a sidewalk. Luckily she didn't drive to the other side and hit the road, otherwise, it would have been fatal. As the information about the accident unfolded, I grew suspicious. First, she was not supposed to be driving through the road where the accident happened. It was Wednesday afternoon and she was supposed to be at work and not driving 25 miles away from home. Second, why would she be drunk in the afternoon? The cops handed me the copy of the dashboard footage and it suggested that Andrea was playing loud music and rash driving. The alcohol was determined during her medical examination. I was investigated for an hour. The cops wanted to know if she was depressed or had a fight with me before she decided to get drunk and ram into a parked car. I had to show them the chats of yesterday and the day before. She texted me in the morning yesterday asking if I would come late or usual. I said usual, but if I think it's gonna be late, I'll inform. She ends it with a love you and heart emoticon. I had no phone call with her after that for the cops to think I was behind her depression or dilemma or whatever it was. They asked me what Andra was doing in the accident location, where she was returning from. I said I had no idea. Initially, they did not believe me, but after an hour-long investigation, they let me go. They had no reason to suspect me. I was then allowed to meet Andrea. I enter her cabin and cuddle her. She was partly conscious. The first thing she asked me, "Where is my phone?" I was shocked. She was still under local anesthesia, in pain, but all she cared about was her phone. I lied that it was with the hospital authorities. She seemed relieved. My mind was already fogged with the investigation report and now her weird question made me even more suspicious. There were so many questions in my mind, but I decided to park it until she recovers. I cuddled her to sleep. Her behavior sparked curiosity in me. I pulled out her phone from her bag, which the nurse had handed over to me. It was discharged. I used my power backup to charge it. As soon as I switched it on, it started buzzing with several notifications. I put it on silence mode. All the buzz subsided in a minute, but there was a continuous notification popping up from one chat. I couldn't read the message from the locked screen. Then there was a call from someone saved as Corner House. This is a small eatery at the corner of our block from where we regularly order takeaways and home delivery, but why was she getting a call from that restaurant so late at night? I kept staring at the screen, contemplating whether to respond or not. There were some 5 back-to-back calls from that number with an occasional chat notification. I'm not an insecure person who goes around snooping into my wife's personal space, but the circumstantial evidence forced me to forget my morals. I unlocked her phone using her fingerprints. She was in deep sleep under medication and I spent the night, sitting by her bed and uncovering my failed marriage. As I suspected, the chat notifications were from the same contact that she had saved as Corner House. Evidently, she had saved someone else's number with that restaurant name to safeguard herself if I ever happened to see the call or chat notification. If we were at home and I saw a call coming from Corner House, I would have suspected nothing. It came out that Andrea had been cheating on me for over 6 months or more. I checked AP's number on my phone, but he was not on my contact list. I looked it up on a caller app and found his name to be Kevin. I know no one with such a name. It's difficult to determine when it actually started. The chat history was backed up until 6 months back, so I'm guessing it is at least 6 months old, if not more. The chats were outrageous and demeaning to me. It was disheartening to read how she was describing her desires for AP while mocking my abilities in bed. She was telling him how I last for no more than a blink and she has to fake her orgasm to keep me happy. They have been meeting every week and sometimes twice a week at their secret hideout. She met with an accident when she was returning from her fucking session, and that explains why she was asking about her phone, and that's why she was drunk. Knowing Andrea, I understood that they had sex because she likes to have it when drunk. But I thought it was only with me, but there she is, going around fucking men in a drunken state. Reading their chats made me throw up. She was sexting him all the time, in the middle of the night, during her work hours, and even when she was out with me. The last time they sexted was when we were watching a movie, the day before. I remember clearly she was cuddling me and we kissed and made out. I feel so gross to think that she was imagining me to be him all this while. There was no fucking way I could have suspected that she was up to this. We had regular date nights, went on trips, and talked to sleep. Sex was twice a week. Not sure if this is inadequate or okay or how many times others do it. Haven't gone around surveying what others do. It hurts me to think that I was not able to keep her satisfied. Had she told me this, I might have figured out a solution. She never expressed that she wanted more or something else. I thought we were close enough to be brutal honest with each other, but guess we were not. I snooped into her social media account but didn't find AP added there. Their only mode of communication was through chats and calls. How do I find him? Who the heck is this guy who has been satisfying my darling wife? I've been up the whole night. Now I feel dizzy, but the rage in me is not letting me sleep. I want to call AP to the hospital and beat the shit out of him. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Maybe just need to head out of here. Update 1. You know what? I left that whore at the hospital, threw away her phone, packed her belongings, and dumped it outside my house. I also did a couple of other things. I'll come to it eventually. I left the hospital room and went home, but I was feeling very uneasy. I wanted to do something about my pain. I was racing inside the house thinking what to do while Andrea's phone was continuously buzzing with AP's calls and texts. That son of a bitch was concerned that she wasn't replying. I decided to fix the problem first. I opened the phone and started chatting with him as Andrea. Pasting the text conversation here. Read corner house as AP. Me. Hey, don't call/text me. I don't want to be with you anymore. Corner house? Wait? Why? Corner house, what happened? Are you mad at me for something? Corner house, are you mad that I didn't stay longer? I promise next time we'll spend the day together. Corner house, why ain't you replying? Okay, talk to me first. We can sort this out. Me, I'm never gonna meet you and stop texting me. Corner house, can we meet today and discuss this? Corner house, how about I pick you up from work? I'll tell Connie I'm working overtime. Corner house, okay, are you upset because my divorce got delayed? Trust me, I'm gonna shove the paper to Connie this month. Me, no. Don't do that. I don't enjoy sex with you anymore. You are no more than just a toy for me. Your cock excites me no more. I found another cute guy who lasts longer than you. Corner house, what? You're messing up with me, don't you? Me, I'm not. I'm going out for a date with him tonight. Corner house, don't do this. You know I love you. Me, one more message and I'm gonna tell your wife everything. Corner house, you slut. The beeping stopped after that. Then I accessed her work email on her phone and sent a resignation letter to her manager, asking for an immediate release. He replied asking for a reason. I responded that I, Andrea, am pissed off with the toxic work culture, people there are shit and the manager is a womanizer finding opportunities to grab booties. I also wrote that if he doesn't approve my resignation, I'm gonna expose all the truth to the management. The resignation was approved within minutes. Glad, I was a good listener. Listening to Andrea's work BS actually helped me today. I felt a small victory. So, now she is jobless and single. I have nothing to do with it. She quit her job and dumped her lover. Poor girl. I took her credit card and swiped off all the little money she had. I even burnt all her ID cards, passport, and bank documents and didn't leave a trace of it. I flushed the ashes. If she has to find it, she needs to scavenge the gutter and put it back. One victory after another. It would take her months if not years to get a copy of these documents from the government authorities. She would be on cast for ATL 2 months. She can't go running to government offices to get these documents even if she finds out they are missing. She's gonna face the first blow today when she wakes up from her sleep of anesthesia. I'm gone from the hospital. She doesn't have her phone. No one in her family or friends knows that she's in hospital. She doesn't have her insurance details with her. I'm not saying she would be stuck at the hospital for ages. No, but she would have to struggle for every bit of it. She has no card/money to pay the hospital bills. Even if she manages to contact her insurance provider, she has no ID with her. She might take the authorities' help to call her parents or friends, but that's not gonna be easy. Her parents live 5 hours apart. Let's see how her friends are gonna help. After having a satisfactory smile pulling this off, I packed her clothes, accessories, and other belongings and kept them outside the house. While I was in the middle of this, I got a call from the hospital. The doctor wanted me there to discuss the discharge formalities. I asked when are gonna discharge her. They said tomorrow. I said I'd be there tomorrow, right now stuck with other stuff. They said it would delay the process and they might keep her admitted for another day. I said sure, we can handle 1 extra day's charge. Good for her. After a couple of hours, I again got a call from the hospital. This time it was Andrea asking me to come. I said, sure baby, I came home for a shower. We'll be there in an hour. Then, I called up the hospital authorities, strictly instructing them not to let Andrea call anyone. My fragile little sweetheart needs rest. They assured they would oblige and would inform the duty nurse about it. Bam. Throughout the day, I got 4 calls from the duty nurse that Andrea was asking me to visit her and that she was getting restless. Initially, I thought of ghosting them or telling them I'm not gonna come, but that would have made her switch to other people for help. So instead of that, I kept buying time and left her hanging. Next, I'm gonna change my lock so that she's blocked from my house. I'm also gonna meet my lawyer tomorrow and discuss my odds of getting rid of her without paying a penny. But that's it until now. Update 2. Whoa. What a whirlwind it has been. I messed up with the hospital authorities for 2 days before ghosting them. They called me to clear the discharge formalities and take her home and I kept borrowing time that I was out of town. Andrea got suspicious of my actions. Her phone was missing. I had told her that it was with the nurse, but the nurse would have informed her by now that it was with me. She would have added up the math and understood that I had discovered the truth. The other reason was that I had never neglected her. She knew that if not for any major reason, I could not abandon her in this state when she was in hospital recovering from an accident. I played around for 2 days before ghosting them. But before that, I had collected all the evidence of Andrea's cheating from her phone and kept my lawyer in confidence. This was to safeguard myself if the hospital got the cops involved. Andrea called up her parents when she realized that things have screwed up. Her parents arrived at my door, yelling at me that I abandoned her daughter to die at the hospital and informed no one about it. I let them vent out before I showed them the texts where their daughter was flaunting her sexuality with another man and watched them mellow down. They were like, "Oh, we are sorry for what she has done, but this is not the time for revenge. She needs you now. You took a holy vow that you would take care of your wife in sickness." What? Didn't she take a vow too that she would not seek any other men apart from me? What happened to her vow? Right, she has shoved it on her ass, so I'm gonna do the same. Vows my $1. They got infuriated by my words and stood up to leave, threatening to drag me to the court. I said, "On your way, take her thrash away from here. My house has no place for her and her filthy stuff." They cursed me and took her belongings with them. I'm guessing they have taken Andrea with them until she recovers. As per the latest update by my lawyer, the divorce paper will reach her in a week. We are gonna use her infidelity to get rid of her. Using her chat conversation, my lawyer has also made a case that she was plotting with AP to divorce and rip me off financially, and I did everything to safeguard myself and not to harm her. So far, so good. Waiting for the divorce papers to be served. Update 3. So, the divorce papers reach her and she freaks out. She's still immobile, wrapped in a cast. She sent me hundreds of voicemails, some with threats, some with curses, and some with requests for a meeting. I ignored all of it. Then she sent a long threatening email that she's gonna sue me for destroying her IDs, emptying her credit card, and forging her resignation at work. I replied, "Sure, go ahead if you have the money and time to fight the case. It's gonna take ages for her to prove that I had done all this," what she was saying. "Remember, you don't have a job or money? If you drag me to court, I am gonna press a counter case of humiliation and infidelity, and I have evidence of these charges. Better suck it up and sign the divorce papers and get done with it." The threats and pleading stopped, but she was not signing the papers either. She emailed my lawyer that she needs a meeting before deciding on her move. My lawyer suggested I meet her, but asked me to lay some ground rules. Meeting at a public place, no promises, no turbulence, and no physical contact, hugging or whatsoever. Also, our conversation would be recorded so that she doesn't frame me falsely. If needed, my lawyer would accompany me or would be on a call with me. I relayed the instructions to her and she agreed. My lawyer also suggested I try and convince her for out of the court settlement to save money and time. I went there alone. Lawyer asked me to call him if needed. I set the recorder and sat there waiting for her to take the lead. She started off by saying, "You played smart, you did everything to destroy me and you were successful too. I have no job, no money, and yeah, no man, he left me." I asked her, "So you were angry because I chased off your lover?" She said, "No, he was a loser and I was gonna get rid of him anyways." Her nonchalant response made me crack up. I busted out in laughter and she joined me in this. It took me to our predating days when we used to discuss the men who would hit on her and would laugh at their pickup lines. Joke's on me, I got picked up at the end and became a subject of laughter. She said, "Why are you doing this to me?" with tears in her eyes. I asked why she cheated on me when we had everything so beautiful. She had no answer. She said it was just for fun and it didn't mean anything. She was just fooling around with AP and called him a simp man. I said, "Well, I guess I'm a simp for sitting here with you and talking to you after you went sleeping with another man behind my back." She said, "Oh, come on, let's move on from this." I said, "I am being civil with you, but this doesn't mean I'm gonna have you back in my life. I'm never gonna forgive you. You hurt me and it was a sheer betrayal. You mocked me and discussed our sex life with your AP. You even said that my small dick went halfway into you and I didn't satisfy you." Tears welled up in my eyes as I said this. This was nothing short of a humiliation for me. She held my hands, cried, and apologized. I shrugged off her hands and yelled, "No touching, stay away from me." She pulled back herself. I wiped my face and said that even if I forgive her, I cannot stop thinking that she was taking our sex life outside our house and mocking me. Whenever I would kiss her or have sex with her, I would always think I'm not enough. Not only her, now I don't think I would ever be confident with any other woman. I would always think, what if she thinks the same as Andrea? What if I'm really not enough? She was again crying and said, "I didn't mean any of those things I said to AP. I said it only to take him in confidence. You are enough. You kept me happy. I was a fool to get distracted and cheat on you, but I promise, I never loved AP but you. I never thought of leaving you. Please, trust me," I said. "Trust you? Never." She pestered me, assuring that she would be loyal and would never lay her eyes on anyone but me. I said, "Didn't you take this vow at the altar, yet you slept with another man?" She was left with no choice but to sign the papers. She said okay and pulled out the papers from her bag and signed them with shivering hands. She looked at me with teary eyes while handing over the papers. I was also in tears. All my rage was now flowing out as pain. Everything is over now. We have known each other for more than a decade. To ease the situation, I asked, so would you be running back to AP now? She laughed and said, no, he doesn't want me anymore. He doesn't want to listen that it was you. He said he's not gonna cheat on his wife for a flaky woman. Ops, too bad. With pain and remorse, she said, but you be happy, you got your revenge, you ripped me off everything. I lost everything, guess I deserve it. We left after that. No hugs, no goodbyes. I just stood up and left. While driving back home, I was contemplating my actions. Did I go too far? Was I wrong in doing what I did? If not, then why don't I feel content after pulling off my revenge so precisely? I don't know. It's too soon to say anything. Need to soak the reality that I'm divorced now. Gosh. I was a happily married man until a few months back and now I'm divorced.